Hello, everyone. Welcome back. View from the sidelines. It's been a mental week. I'm joined by James from the Anvil. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. How is Canada?
It's wet right now. It's a bit chilly outside. It's meant to get warmer later though, I think. But I've woke up and it's been raining, so it's chilly. It is at this time of year anyway over there.
Caffel, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I just got the ice cream man busting out a tuna outside my house. You know what I mean?
Oh,
As you
I
do,
can hear
as you
that.
do it.
like
You know what I mean? It's all good though. But let's talk, mate. Let's talk about it. This week we've been we've been well, how can I put it? It's been a sort of a weird week this week because in West Ham,
Yeah,
like Burnley going with 4-0 at Wolves. No one see that one coming.
yeah.
Chris Wood gets an hat trick, and all of a sudden, Burnley and Wolves are well beaten. All of
I
a
think I
sudden,
predicted that to be an exciting game, didn't I, James?
yeah,
Yeah.
you did, mate. You did, but I didn't think it'd be one-sided. Do you know what I mean?
No, neither did I.
Uh, I didn't see that one coming. But James, what do you have you assessed this week? Obviously, what do you think on the injury front with West Ham going forward?
It's all good. I think this week it's been mixed reaction in terms of the injuries, but I don't know what to believe. I know Lingard's fully fit because X has said that any report of Lingard being injured is a lie. I didn't believe Lingard was injured anyway. He's just overrun himself and he's getting cramped.
Hmm.
We need Masuaku, Rice, and Cresswell back in the team ASAP. I think we definitely need Masuaku and Cresswell back because we don't have a decent enough backup left back. We have got Ben Johnson, but he's a bit
Yeah.
he's not dodgy, but he's a bit hit and miss. We definitely need Rice back in the team because Souček. We need to help Souček out. So we need all these injured players back, and even though we get a lot of injuries, we have at least got a decent medical team that gets them back quick.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. We need to get them back as soon as. Caffel, how have you assessed this week? Looking forward to the Burnley game on Monday evening.
Um, there's still a lot of time left. Like we've a good few days till the game. There's a lot of time for things to sort of happen and news to come out. We just have to hope for some good news. Really, players back. I seen X said stuff about the Lingard injury news not being true. So hopefully we can just get as many players back fit as possible and go at them. Don't be holding
Yeah,
back with the five at the back.
I agree, mate. I really do.
yeah,
This five at the back fiasco has really got to stop, in my opinion, because like we've played five at the back in the last four games and we've conceded 8 goals, I believe, if memory serves me right. And that's not good enough when you're going back with near enough six defensive-minded players. If you go five at the back and you put Mark Noble in there, that's actually six defensive players. And if you had Souček in there, there's another one and all. So, um, like, I might as well get into it now while I'm on the subject. Um, like, does Benramha come back into this game? Is it a chance to say, you know what, you're playing against Burnley, counter attack, pace on the break? Is it his time, James?
yeah, maybe because well, as I said before, it's going to take an injury to either Lingard or Fornals initially to get Benramha in that team. He's probably praying for that to happen so
Hmm.
that he can actually get a starting place. But you know, these lower league teams. Like, well, no disrespect to them, but it seems like Burnley and West Brom. Those are the kind of teams that Benramah should play against. Really,
Hmm.
if you ask me, because he's played in Championship a lot of the time. These teams are headed looking Championship bound anyway, with no respect. So yeah, it wouldn't be any different to playing in the top end of the Championship for him. And these are teams that he's got a better chance of getting a shot at.
Hmm. I agree. Caffel?
Personally, yeah, I think it's the perfect time for him to come in and show what he's worth to the team. But I don't think he will. I think Moyes will end up playing if he does play four at the back. I think he could end up putting someone like Fredericks on right wing, maybe something like that, and keep
Hmm.
some to find a way to keep Benramha out. Probably move since we're playing the four at the back. Fredericks can go from the left wing back up to right mid and both since the Bowen's at striker.
Yeah. Um, See, the thing is, to me, that's not a good sign, in my opinion. If you're trying to put other players who haven't really done anything this season into the team, and I know I
Just
like
on
to sort of chuck
square pegs and round holes when we have a round peg there.
Yeah, it just makes no sense, in my opinion. It just seems like he's doing everything he can. I think even if West Ham was down to 12 players, he still wouldn't play Benramha. Benramha would be on the bench. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I just don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand it. I don't get the mentality of it. Like we're playing Burnley on Monday. If we set up 5 at the back, James, what would be your thoughts on that?
Why? Just why? I mean, we did it against Brighton and it didn't work out. We actually played 8 defensive players against Brighton, and if we do that against Burnley, I mean, what's the point? Ice cream man again.
The ice cream man's back. Yeah, I mean, he sponsors the show. Like Caffel, if he does set up 5 at the back, mate, surely something's got to give here, isn't it? Surely someone's got to sit down and say, what's going on?
Shows a lack of invention. As much as I like Moyes, it would be very sort of Route 1, lack of sort of any invention to his side. It would just be very boring, and it's not worth it. You can't go to a team like Burnley and do that, because they'll as we went in even if it was the same team we went out with in the Chelsea team, that team was shite at defending, and it wasn't a good attacking team. It was just 5 people at the back. It wasn't a 5 at the back really. It was just. We can't go into a team like Burnley with that mindset.
Yeah, I agree. I'm seeing things I've seen things today and yesterday on social media and on YouTube and things like that. And people saying about Chris Wood, like, we should be worried about Chris Wood. But let's be honest here. 2 weeks ago, Chris Wood was nowhere to be seen, and everyone was like, not worried about Burnley. All of a sudden, he goes and scores that against Wolves, and now he's like Lewandowski Part 2. I just don't understand it. I don't get it myself. Chris Wood, good player, does exactly what he says on the tin. But if you put a solid defender onto him and go like 2-on-1,
he would have been a great player to get a few years back. But it's probably past his chance for a team like us now. But if we got him after Leeds, maybe he would have been a great signing.
Yeah, I don't understand the mentality of the fan base at the minute when they're saying about Chris Woods, like we should be nervous about playing Burnley. Like, I look at our team and I see Jesse Lingard, Jared Bowen. Right, I'm going to say Fornals because he plays. Right, even though I don't see the hype. I don't. And if someone could convince me otherwise, then I'd love to hear it. But
we've tried, James. We've tried.
Yeah, no, but. I will come on to that in a minute, but I just want to say this, like, about Chris Wood, right? Yeah, he's a good player, but if you take Chris Wood and Barnes out of that team's pretty non-existent. Like,
Dwight McNeil's probably their best player.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil, I was going to say, yeah, and I think he's a great player, young, good on the ball. I'd love him at West Ham, trust me. I think he'd be great.
Oh, he'd be class.
But like, let's talk about it, like. Is this a game for Pablo Fornals, in your opinion? Or is it a game for Benramha?
I'd lean more towards Benramha on that one for some reason.
I think it's both, really.
But yeah, you can put both in the team, and they're both.
That's the thing that people on Twitter, maybe it is, have sort of said you can only have one in a team at a time. It's either you can only like Benramha or Fornals. You can like both of them, and they can both fit in the team if we play that 4-2-3-1. Especially with Antonio out, they can both fit into that perfectly.
Yeah, for me, I don't get it. Like, if we're going to set up with 5 at the back, which we're all going to say that it's probably going to happen, and then we're going with Pablo Fornals as a midfielder who's hard working, runs around, gets stuck in. Then basically what we're all saying is that Jesse Lingard and Jared Bowen are the only 2 up front who's going to be able to score us any goals, because the rest of them ain't going to be able to. It's going to be non-existent like it was against the Chelsea. Now, West Ham Online, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad.
Yeah, right, let's get into it, mate, while you're here. Haller, is he a striker or isn't he?
Don't start.
Nah,
Don't start.
nah.
He's useless. That's what he is.
Yeah. I will say one thing though. I will say something serious now. Should we have kept him though? With this, obviously, I know hindsight's a great thing, and we all can look back. But would we have really could we have got the money in the summer that we got in January?
I don't know, mate. You could have.
When it comes in, you have to grab it. I suppose it's one of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not really.
If he stayed on the bench and didn't score again this season, I don't think you even get 20 million. But at the same time, we could have done with him to come off the bench. As much as I think he's not very good, at times he can get you a goal out of nothing. So we could have done with him off the bench. So, well, I would have personally kept him until the summer.
Yeah, I
think that's
agree
more
with
hindsight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way you got to look at it is, at the end of the day, like we haven't got a striker at the club, and the only striker we have got is an 18-year-old youth prospect, which is like, I know Antonio's been there for a while, but let's be honest, he's not an out-and-out striker. He's not just an out-and-out striker. He's not a fit striker at all. Right, that's another thing that we've got a problem with his fitness record. But let's talk about it, West Ham Online. We've obviously got Burnley coming up. In the title, it says Benramha or Fornals debate. Surely, Benramha has to play this game. Surely.
Yeah, I want both to play. I saw on Twitter earlier there was people saying, "Oh, Anderson's 10 times to play a Fornals is," and then someone replied, "Oh, that must mean." Oh, if you think that, it must mean that Anderson's 40 times the player Benramha is. Like, why these people keep on, like, you don't, to praise one, you don't have to put down the other, basically. But that's what they're doing. I would like to start both of them because I think last time we played Burnley, Benramha actually started and he played.
He did.
He didn't play too bad that day.
He played about. If my memory serves me right, I've done the stats on it. I think he played about 67 minutes, and he played from the start. Yeah,
which is good. That's a good run in.
Yeah, he didn't play too badly. I think you're playing Burnley. You want creative players on the pitch, and Fornals and Benramha are both creative players. We don't need 150 players at the back. So yeah, I'd just go with both of them.
If he sets up 5 at the back with wing backs, right, just for argument's sake, Cresswell's fit, right? Now, I think Cresswell might be fit. I'm not too sure. But if Cresswell's fit, or Mazawak, who comes back, if he sets up 5 at the back, what does that tell you? Considering we're supposed to be chasing Champions League at the minute.
I don't know. It depends which way you play the 5, because it can be a positive formation if you play the way Chelsea did in that title-winning year. But that was more of a 3, if you'd say. The way we're playing at the moment is quite conservative. That's definitely the wrong word, but we're still conceding loads of goals, and it is a concern that you're putting so many defenders at the back yet still conceding a lot of goals. So I don't know why we just wouldn't play with a 4. Defensively, yes, it might have less cover on paper, but I think we were doing all right with the 4 defensively a few weeks ago. So I'd do that. I'd play Benramha, I'd play Fornals, and I'd play the midfield 2 of Noble and Souček, but allow Souček to get forward a bit more.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think on that, James?
Well, 5 at the back. We did it against Wolves and we beat them 4-0. We've done 5 at the back and we've won as well. I'm not going to have 5 straight defenders at the back. Just maybe have like 2 wing backs and 3 in defence, because that's the system I can go with. I can't just have 5 at the back and just be all out defensive. Not against teams like Burnley. I want to have a bit more of an element from the back going forward, like our Barca do it, playing from the back. And that's why we have those wing backs anyway. So, yeah, I don't want an all-out defensive back.
Do you think, right, because some people will say this, do you think we play 3-4-3 or we play 5-3-2?
3-4-3.
Yeah. I don't know. I see a 5 there. I always see Lingard and
It
Bowen
depends. It
together.
depends if Masuaku's there or not, doesn't it? It's if
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's there, it's a 5. If it's Masuaku there, it's a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like to me that I know I'm going to bring him up, but are you telling me that Benramha can't go where Masuaku goes? Like, do you know what I mean? We've had this sort of debate before. Like, if we're going to go and at teams, if we are playing a 3-4-3 system, arguably you could have Benramha over there or have someone on that side who's a bit more better going forward. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand it myself. I really don't. It proved it on Saturday when we set up 5-3-2 at half time. We changed it. We went 3-4-3 and we looked a completely different team. We come out second half. We got more of the ball. We just had no attack. So let's look at this game against Burnley. Let me ask Cathal this. How do you see this game going, mate?
Like a prediction for it, is it?
No, not prediction. How do you see it planning out before we get to the predictions in a little while?
I prediction wise, I do think he will go 5 at the back. It's not what I want, obviously, but I can't see him changing it up. I don't know if we have the squad to change it up. Especially, I think it's him knowing, unless Rice is back, but him knowing that Rice isn't there makes him want to play that 5 because there's so much less protection.
Yeah. What about you, James? How do you see this game turning out against Burnley? What are you expecting?
Well, I think we don't have a good track record against Burnley, really. Apart from maybe that 4-2 win and the 1-0 win earlier this season. Because they're a gritty side. That's the thing. And I can see them digging it out. Because there's always this point in the season when Burnley are fighting relegation and they end up pulling out the bag. They did it last season. They're doing it this season. They've just beaten Wolves 4-0. They're high on confidence. They're going to give it us. And I think we just probably weather the storm for a bit and then change it up if we got it.
Yeah, West Ham Online, what do you think on this, mate? How do you see this game sort of, if we set up 5 at the back, how do you see it going?
I think no matter what, it will be a really close game. But if we have the 5, I just see it being a bit of a dull affair. I can see this one. I know we've been conceding a lot of goals lately, but I can honestly see this one being 1-0 either way, because Burnley aren't a team that scores a lot of goals. They aren't a team that concedes a lot either. I just think it will be a lot like the reverse fixture, where it's not going to be a fun game to watch, but we need to get the 3 points over the line. And I'm not bothered if we have 1 shot, 0 shots, 100 shots, as long as we get the 3 points, because I think it's so crucial we win this game.
If we don't win this game, if we fail to win this game, that's Champions League over, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We can all agree
100%.
that it'd be good night from Champions League. Now, someone said to me, "Well, we could finish 7th, right? Oh, don't worry, we're guaranteed 7th, right?" I looked at the table before I come on. Everton are 3 points behind us. If Everton beat us, right, and we could end up finishing as far down as 8th or 9th even. If we put on a bad run of form, like I think we need 2 wins to be guaranteed. Like,
yeah, I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it.
We can do it. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But it's
I watch Everton, James. I watch Everton, and they just don't. They fail to inspire me every time I watch. And even I have a few good friends who support Everton, and they say honestly, they say to me, "We don't deserve to be where we are." At the start of the season, they were playing really good football, but since the end of August, they've just been grinding results or losing. They've been actually really inconsistent, especially since the turn of the year. So, with their fixtures being a lot harder than ours, and them having Man City on the final game of the season, I think we will finish above Everton. So I think 7th for me has to be the lowest possible. If we finish below 7th, it's really a huge collapse.
It is, isn't it? And that is. I'll come to James on this. If we do finish below 7th, that to me is like a false dawn, isn't it? It's like everyone's been raving us up, and in the end, I know it's been a good season. We've stayed up, but we've literally stayed up, like and we haven't done anything to push on, so to speak. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I mean, finishing eighth would be very bad. It would be a massive drop. I wouldn't be happy with it because it seems like all the hard work we've done in the season's gone to waste because we've come away with nothing. We haven't come away with European football. And I know if Champions League doesn't happen, I would definitely take Europa League at the end of the day. I would, because it's still a European competition. And I think, but if we don't qualify for Europe at the very least, I won't say this season's a failure, but I would say it's been largely disappointing to come away with nothing.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get everyone's prediction, and there's a subject that I do really want to talk about, and I really would like to get your opinions on, and it's going to be interesting to see what your thoughts on this. So I'm going to start off with Cathal. What do you think on Monday, mate?
So this proper prediction now.
Yeah.
2-1 to us.
Who scores the goals for us, mate? So I can put it on the accumulator.
Lingard and Bowen.
Right, Lingard and Bowen. Right, drinks on Cathal. West Ham Online, mate. What do you reckon on Monday?
Oh God, I don't know whether to go 1-1 or 2-1 to us. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go with 1-1. Honestly, I see Chris Wood scoring, and I see Thomas Souček scoring.
James?
1-0, scrappy 1-0 to win to us, and I'll say Bowen to score it.
I agree with West Ham Online on this. I think this is a draw for us. I don't think if we lose up there, then this is becoming an habit, and this is our bad run of form that we're in. Like, it'll be 3 defeats in a row. But as we all know, as West Ham fans, and if you follow West Ham for a long time and everything, we don't win at Burnley, and that's another place we don't win at. So for me, looking at this, I have to look at the draw. I can't see us scoring 3 goals with 5 at the back with only 2 attackers. If we do that, it's like he's doing miracles. But yeah, I'll go 1-0 and I'll say Lingard. I think he'll get another one. But yeah, I want to lead on to something now. This is a subject that I didn't manage to get in the title, but I do want to talk about it. It's our youth setup. It's our youth system, our youth setup. Why we have only got 8 players out on loan, and one of them is out in Ireland playing for some team in the first division. We've got multiple
There's not much
players.
in the first division now, James.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? So I just want to ask you this. I'm going to ask West Ham Online this first. Why are none of our youth players, hot prospects, Connor Coventry, Nathan Holland, Baptiste? I think Elise is at Cambridge, I believe. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
but why are not more of our players going out on loan, mate?
Yeah, this was a really good timing you asked that, because I watched your show a couple of days ago where you and Andy were having a bit of a debate about it.
Oh, mate, me and him went right at it.
Yeah. And Andy, what was it Andy said? Andy said it's because he thinks it's because Moyes sees them as backup. And you said... What did you say, James?
Oh, I turned around and said they don't want to go out on loan because they've got it too easy at West Ham. Why would anyone want to, like this? I use West Ham Online as an example. Young up and coming footballer, he's on 10 grand a week, 15 grand a week at West Ham. He's got his family in London, and West Ham want to ship him off to say Sunderland. Why would you want to do like it's the right thing to do, but some of these players don't want to go out on loan. That's what I believe.
Yeah. And then, so this morning, I was in contact with a couple of the players from the under-23s. the ones that I speak to, and I asked them this. So I mentioned a few names as well. I put in Coventry. I asked about Odebeko. I didn't really cover Holland because I'll be honest, I've lost faith in Holland, mainly due to his injuries and his age. But I asked about the others. Coventry, apparently what happened is in pre-season he was set to by the first team coaches, he was told to go out on loan. Then he picked up an injury, which was relatively unknown after we played in, I can't remember who we beat, but I think we beat someone 5-1 and he played in pre-season. And he picked up an injury in this game and he was looking to go out on loan and they couldn't get him on loan because the injury, by the time the window ended, he wasn't able to be fit to be able to go out on loan. So they said to him, stay with the under-23s.
Hold on. But the loan system for lower league clubs still continues.
Yeah. He was in. This is what I'm saying. He was injured. By the time the actual window ended, he obviously couldn't then. Then the season started and apparently we assessed the options we had at the club. And they said to Coventry, stay at least until January because we don't have enough options. Then he picked up another injury. He came back after a really long injury back into the team, the under-23s not too long ago, and he's been playing for quite a while now. And so now it's too near the end of the season for them to send him on loan, and they just don't see any point of it when we don't have any cover. Odubeko was only, at the start of the season, he was only 17, so they just thought, well, he's hardly played a year in the under-23s, he'll stay for now. And then there were a few of the others who aren't in favour as much, who they don't know why they couldn't go out on loan, but apparently there was one or two that fancied their chances of getting into the first team, which the first team coaches didn't agree with. And they said, we'll stay for this season. They're nowhere near it.
And who do you know who they are?
No, they wouldn't tell me the name of them, but I think it's two players who don't play that much, basically, for the under-23s.
Yeah. See, before I bring James in on this, I had this debate on Forge for Minds. Go and check them out over at Gatesy and Duke and all that, right? Good lads. And I had a debate on there with Andy, and I can't be having people looking on Twitter saying Conor Coventry needs to start, needs to play, needs to do this, when no one's ever seen him in their life. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you got people. Do you know what I mean? You can't. We need to go. These players need to go out on loan. Now, I agree. I'm not going to say I disagree with you, West Ham, on loan. What you've just said there. Yeah, I'm not. But there's been times where he could have gone out on loan. Even last season, he could have went out on loan and he didn't. And let's be honest there. And before I bring James in, I just want to say this.
But
if you're
he was at Lincoln last year, wasn't he? He
wasn't at Lincoln.
When was it that he went to Lincoln?
I think it was
probably
about
last
2 years
year or
ago.
a year ago. Yeah, it was either last year or a year before that.
Yeah. I tell you a player who did go to Lincoln, and I thought he was a good prospect for us. He's Scully. He's called. I thought he over Dagenham and Redbridge when I was watching him. Scored goals, done everything you wanted him to do. But yet again, they said to him, you ain't got a future here, so he decided to go to Lincoln and play for Lincoln, and I think Lincoln are on the verge of either playoffs or getting promoted. So, James, where's it all going wrong with our youth setup, considering we're supposed to be the academy of football?
Overhyping players, I think, is one thing, and if you look at a classic example I use is Freddie Sears, because remember how he scored a few goals in a couple of games and everyone said he was going to be the next Teddy Sheringham. He ended up playing for Colchester and Ipswich after that. So overhyping these players certainly doesn't help, because it gets them big-headed for a start. It makes them think that the dogs knackers when they're probably not. And also, we haven't seen them play. All right, and I was saying we need to get them out of playing professional football. We need to get them out in the field so that they can actually get some game time and find themselves, to find who they are as a players and find them how good they really are at professional level. Playing in the academy is all right. It's not as demanding as playing professional football. You're used to playing in the academy because you're playing with the same teammates. You're playing in the same setup. You need to go to another team. You need to see how you cope in a different environment, and only the best end up making it. So that's why we need to get these players out on loan so that they can prove themselves in another environment.
James, before you go to Cahill, I just want to say what James from the Anvil just said. I really agree with what you just said, and a huge example for me is where you said about trying new environments. When Rice got released from Chelsea, he had the option of making a simple move and living at home and going to Fulham, or living away from home and going to West Ham. And he chose the difficult option. He chose the fight. And then when he was at West Ham, he wasn't one of the first to be offered a scholar at first. And he still he fought for his place. And now he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
Yeah, but the problem is, and I will say this before I've been careful with, you look at Declan Rice, he come in, 4 years ago, was it? When he was 17, 18? Like, someone tell me he's 22 now. He's been with us ever since. He's been around the team.
He came when he was 15.
But he didn't. But he didn't play in the Premier League till he was about 18.
Yeah.
So
18.
And his debut was against Liverpool, I believe, when we got hammered 4-0. So, like when I look at the likes of Connor Coventry, Baptiste, all these so-called big names, right? How can anyone assess them and say, you know what, they're good enough to play in West Ham's European tour next year? Like, do you know what I mean? This is not the Carabao Cup or anything. This is
a serious competition.
Yeah, but at the same time, I agree with that. But you do need to take some risks. So it's a bit of both, because I think Baptiste really could be a top defender for us, but I can't say yet that that's guaranteed.
I understand what you're saying there, and I get it, right? But how can any of us assess a man who we've never seen live other than in under 23s? And let's be honest, under 23 level is miles away from Premier League, European competition level. Like these players need to go out and play for an MK Dons or a Peterborough or a Doncaster or somewhere like that, where they know they're getting 25 games minimum a season. Like, do you know what I mean?
They need to pay their dues.
Cathal, what do you think on this, mate? Why is the Academy of Football somehow not the Academy of Football no more?
I agree with a lot of what James said as well, but I think it could be that they're just too cozy at this stage. We need to sort of just ship them out and get them playing football, let them sort of earn their way into it. Like, you can't, under 23 level is not enough to earn senior football. You need to actually play senior football to earn it. And I had this. I was talking about it with Charlie Walsh on the Hammers Chat podcast. We were saying, like, why aren't we playing as many sort of youth players as Harry Redknapp used to? Harry Redknapp had an FA Youth Cup winning youth side and a Premier League, like the first division of youth team football. We have a Division 2 youth team right now. They're in the second division of that.
Harry Redknapp also had Tony Carr. And Tony Carr was the genius behind picking talent.
It's everything since he was let go. Everything's sort of gone. Yeah. Really, it's. We have, like, Rice is probably the first prospect that sort of seems like he could actually work out that we've had since the Redknapp era.
Yeah. I agree. West Ham Online. Where do you see it going for these youth players now, mate? In your opinion?
I honestly, I don't see a lot of them coming through. I completely agree with what you just said. Although I think Redknapp's a bit of a prick. He was great with the youth players, and he was a money-stealing fraud. But what he did with the youth players, and Tony Carr, you've just mentioned, we had Defoe, Cole, all these players. But at the same time, I just don't think the players in the academy have the potential. And you've got to ask, why could we attract such good youngsters back then, but we can't now? And I think it comes down to the situation that we mentioned a few weeks ago, James, where the facilities are absolutely crap. they look at the clubs around us in the Premier League. Even when Jordan Hugill, not a youth player, but when he joined Norwich, he said, "But these are much better facilities than what was in
Is
the
it
Premier League."
Rochdale, a team with like a
Yeah.
really, really good one?
It was
Or Fleetwood or
Peterborough.
something?
Fleetwood.
Peterborough's
Fleetwood.
got a good.
Yeah. And we sat there with those porter cabins, which people are probably, they've not been cleaned since 1946. And we're just at this terrible training facility. Why would people want to join if they have the option of?
Yeah, but
You've got to remember, young people don't evaluate everything. They'll look at our training facilities. They'll look at Chelsea's.
but the people, see, I'm not really worried about the people who want to come to the club. Like, that's not an issue. We've got Claire, we've got Baptiste, we've got I can't think of his name. Begins with F. Farmer of Fiamma, or his name is. I can't remember. Yeah, him. You got Elise, who's
meant to be brilliant, isn't he? That Corbett, but I don't see it personally.
He's a bit light.
We've got we've got all these players who are like supposedly like going to come in the team and be top players in the future.
Your man who's the new Kante as well.
Yeah, and it just
Paya Forson or something.
Then why are we so bad in the leagues? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but
Get him on the
for
pitch,
me, why are these players not going out on loan? That's more to the issue where, like, why is it that the under 23s always got a full team? That's the issue that I need to be asked. Yeah, James, what do you think, mate?
What was the question? Sorry.
Question is why is a under 23 team always at full strength? Because no one seems to be wanting to go and play for a Dagenham and Redbridge or a Ipswich or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me. Like,
I don't know really.
Is it financially? Is it that they don't want to take a cut in their wages? For instance, if they're getting paid X amount of pounds for being on a youth contract.
I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I think, what is it? I don't think it's just they want to fight for a place in the West Ham team. Maybe that's one of the things. They want to fight for a place in the West Ham team, but they have to be. But you got to be realistic about your chances. Are you going to get more chance of playing for West Ham or more chance of playing for Dagenham and Redbridge? Sorry. Yeah.
I agree with that. I just want to bring this up, right? Because what Scott's just said here. Don't forget Ben Johnson. Now, Ben Johnson's come through. Ngakia come through. Like, I think Ngakia is a better player. I thought Ngakia is better than Johnson. But Johnson's got football relatives Parks, I think it is. I can't. His uncle's Parks. I think it's Tony Parks or Phil Parks or whatever.
Ledley King's one of his cousins.
Yeah, Ledley King's one of his cousins. So he's got football relations who have got him in the door.
Johnson also has a good attitude, and Ngakia didn't seem to.
I think he's actually meant to be rated. I do think he's.
It's just he's not playing in position.
Yeah, I do think he is better than Ngakia. I think Ngakia had a few good games for us, but I mean, he can't even start for Watford. So
he's on the bench for Watford. He let it go to his head.
Yeah, both of them. We can't say they've really come through yet because Johnson at the moment hasn't really established himself as a starting first-team player.
Maybe not to us, but he has to Moyes. That's the thing. He's established himself as like the first person off the bench every time. So he must be doing something right because he's Moyes' go-to man when we're winning or losing. He puts him on.
Well, let me ask you this: if Johnson goes out on loan next year, would all you be disappointed?
No, I think he needs to.
I think in a way, he hasn't done it, has he?
I think
we have enough right back cover here anyway.
Yeah, I think Swansea or something like that would be a really good.
Like if Soufal could probably stay fit all season, then you've Fredericks, and then you've Harrison Ashby in the underage as well. That could always be called up if you needed him to.
Yeah.
Like we have enough cover that we can leave him to go on loan and sort of get high championship quality, or if a low Premier League team takes him, I doubt that though, but a high championship quality team.
So let me ask West Ham Online. Obviously, you see that on Forge from Irons the other day, and you see the sort of the debate basically about the youth setup. What is your opinion on that, though? Do you think Andy is right, or do you think I am right in what I'm saying? Because I can't see it myself. How these players, how we've only got 8 players out on loan, and 2 of them are ex-first teamers.
I think you're both right in a way. Why Andy's right is because of what I just said. The players I asked, for example, Coventry and that were apparently, obviously I weren't in the club to witness it, but apparently they were trying to go on loan, and they couldn't. But at the same time, I think you're right in the sense there's probably a few players who thought they were too big for their boots and didn't want to go out on loan. But the main thing I blame is recruitment. We don't actually have enough players. You see Chelsea, they're sending like 50 or 60 people out on loan. We don't have
31
enough players. Yeah.
They've got 31 loan players out on loan. And
yeah,
I mean,
this is a down year for them.
yeah. And when people said, "Oh yeah," but then 31 players ain't the same as like you got people like Rufus Loftus-Cheek as an example, but there's players at Doncaster and there's players at what's the other Rotherham. There's a Rotherham player. It's like
that's near where I'm from.
Really. And what's the other one? There's Conor Gallagher. Plays West Bromwich Albion midfielder, second midfielder. Like Sam Gallagher
at Swansea in the Championship, doing really
That's
well.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't see. Is it? Let me ask you this: do you think they don't want to go on loan because if they go on loan, and they don't perform, then basically, in a roundabout way, they're putting themselves in the shop window to say, you know what, if you don't perform, you're going to be out the door.
They're probably not that good, in all honesty. The majority of them, they're probably not that good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And they can sort of say that they play for West Ham. Maybe if they get a League Cup game, they can stick around and hopefully get their chance and maybe try prove us wrong. But a lot of them are never going to make it. And I know most youth teams never make it fully, but a lot of them aren't going to make it even at like a high level of football. They're probably just not good enough. We've seen that in the last few years.
So let me ask you this then: who is good enough? Well, looking to next season, who would you like to see from that youth setup?
Yeah.
If anyone.
Baptiste, Longhello, the left back or left mid fella.
Oh, Manny Longhello.
Kai Corbett needs to put on a few pounds, I think. Because he's not insanely rapid for someone of his size. He's not,
he's quite,
unless he's just
small.
Yeah, he's very small. Unless he's going to be bloody Messi-esque, someone who you just can't touch. He'll get clattered around by some bloody Phil Bardsley or something like that. Meepo, obviously, because he's made it into the squads. He obviously has shown some form of worth that he's going to be around the squad if we don't get him out on loan. Because we'll need to, if we do sign 2 or 3 strikers, which are out, you could send him out on loan then. But we'll probably need him around. And then, is there anyone else? Connor Coventry has always been talked about, but he's never been chosen really.
Yeah. What about you? What about you, Western Line? Go on, mate.
From what I've heard, all the people I've asked, the people I truly believe can be West Ham first team potential. I don't know about next season, but the potential to be there. The only ones I truly believe in are Baptiste and Odubeko. I believe Odubeko needs to go out on loan to improve his overall play, which I think at times his overall play lacks. But I've been told by numerous people in the club that him, Lingard and Bowen are the best finishers in the entire club. But his overall game is nowhere near Antonio's. So he needs to go out on loan, get some experience. And I think Baptiste, you don't get talked about as much as Baptiste in the outside world of football if you're not that good. And I think he's only 16, 17 years old as well. So both of them have unbelievable potential, but it's just about whether they can iron out the weaknesses in their game, which at the moment are too prominent to play in the Premier League.
So, in your opinion then, what sort of club, if you was to choose where Odubeko goes for a loan deal, one, what division does he go in? And 2, where does he go?
I think personally that he could go to the Championship in a lower Championship side, I believe
Yeah.
a side like, I don't know who's down there in the Championship, but
Maybe like Coventry or someone.
yeah, Coventry, or maybe a club that comes up, maybe a Hull, someone like that. Someone that just needs a finisher, I reckon he could do a really good job at. Similar when Abraham went on loan to his first ever.
His first ever what? West Ham Online.
Had a phone call, but
That's right.
low Championship, definitely.
Yeah. So, what about? I'm going to chuck a name out there because I like the way they play, and I think we've also got to put him somewhere where we know he's going to be playing in a team that suits his style, basically. So, if I said Peterborough for Odobecchio, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean Peterborough's a good shout. Maybe like Sunderland or even like Sunderland or a Portsmouth would be good for him. Like a higher League One club or like to lower Championship. So you could look at somebody maybe like who's on the Championship. Like Coventry's one team that I can think of. Derby if they stay up, maybe.
Yeah.
Hull would be a good fit for him because they might lose Malik Wilkes over the summer, and they need another young striker to come
in. Yeah. Is it? See, that's the thing, isn't it? Cathal, what do you think in regards of if I was to just ask you where Odobecchio goes and plays next season on loan, what club would you say would be a good fit for him?
If Derby were to stay up, I wouldn't. You wouldn't. I don't know if they go down. I don't know if I'd send them to League One. But a team like Derby who are willing to play youngsters, especially if I think Rooney will keep the job. I don't think he's a great manager, but he's shown he's not afraid to play youngsters, and he's given captaincy to someone like Jason Knight, who's only 20 or 21. He's shown faith in them, so I think a team like Derby would be good for him.
Yeah,
they need a striker as well. Certainly need that.
Yeah, it's very worrying considering that we, as a club, we have to rely on our youth players to sort of, let's be honest, survive because we haven't got the budget to sort of go out every year and go and buy multiple players. If we could get players from the youth setup, it would be ideal. Do you know what I mean? The thing is now is like with Baptiste, I've heard a lot about him, but as yet again, he's another one I've not really seen. Like I think I might have seen him once, like over Dagenham, and that's it. Like I haven't really seen. Like you can't really judge a player on one game; you have to judge him over a period of time. And I just like Nathan Holland was another one, and another player that we mentioned the other day on Fortune Minds, me and James did, was Cardoso or Carcelo, whatever his name is. And we signed him from I think it was Benfica or Porto or somewhere, saying that he's going to be the next big thing, next top centre half, and this, that, and the
I think
other.
we got him from like a smaller club.
I don't think we did, mate. I'm sure we signed him from one of the big boys over there. Like he'd come as like a youth player. I'm sure he was. He might be even with Braga
as well.
Yeah, and he comes in and is there a fear with this with Alves that everyone's bigging up Alves, saying that Alves is going to be the next big thing?
We signed him from a team called Boa Vista.
Oh, Boa Vista, yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's not great, but but
the thing is, Alves is a Moyes signing. Moyes is very particular with the signings. He's not going to waste his time on someone who's shite. Basically, I think he if Moyes trusts him and has him in the squad the whole time, he must be good in some form.
I've got a couple of comments here. Let's read them out. Do you know what I mean? While we move on to different subjects, we got boys. Do you take Anderson back? For me, we have to. We've got no choice. He ain't got no sell-on value. And who's going to buy him when he's only played 4 games all season? What do you think, James, on that?
Maybe, yeah, because I mean, maybe give him another chance, I suppose.
Yeah, careful. Thoughts?
I don't think he's worth much, so I just keep him around the squad. And if someone comes in with 8 to 10 million, you have to take it. Really, it's sad to think of it like that.
I was on Jake's show last night and we was talking about the Benramha thing yet again. And Tom says here, James, completely agree with you on Benramha debate last night on Jake's show. Appreciate it, Tom. I will keep pumping out the Benramha vibe because I don't think it's justified when he's been getting criticism from and not just criticism, right? I just want to say it ain't just criticism, but it's mad criticism. Like the geezer has a shot, and people are saying to him he needs to be sold because he put a ball over the bar and things like that. Something mental. Scott says here, what about Trott going out on loan?
It was meant to.
He went out on loan
I think
to Wimbledon.
He's past it by now, isn't he?
Yeah, he went out on loan to Wimbledon. Didn't really do a lot, like, if I'm honest. I think he only played in 4 games.
Even though keepers have such long careers, I just can't see him making it with us at least.
Yeah, and it just seems like these players just are not cut out for it. Like, just not. He looks the part, Trott, but he just don't. It's all the gear, but no idea, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, not for me really. Any other questions here? Some of the need to have games, but yeah. Scott says here, with regards to what's going on with Benramha, he's getting hate. Yeah, I agree, mate. I think the hate is not right. But going back to what Tom said about what happened last night, I was on Jake's show last night. Anyone wants to look at that show, West Ham Unofficial, go and check him out. He's doing good stuff, old Jake. And I was on there with West Ham Irons United, and they were backing up Fornals, and I was backing up Benramha, and it's a very. Have you ever seen a diverse subject, James, in the fan base when it comes to players? Like, you're either a Benramha fan or you're like, especially when he's only been here.
It was Haller. It was the last one.
Yeah, but even then, though, careful. Like, Haller had at least been here a season. Do you know what I mean? Like, Benramha hasn't even completed the season. He hasn't even completed the season yet, and people are saying that he ain't good enough. And do you know what I mean? Tom says here, if we get Europa, Anson could be a useful player. I agree there. I agree. I think we need to keep him. I think he's got no sell-on value whatsoever. So, anyone got any comments before I wrap it up in about 10 minutes? Chuck them in there, and I'll ask the boys. But let me ask you, lads, this while I wait to see if there's any comments come through. If Anderson is sold, right, how much do you think we will get for him in the summer?
10 max.
15 max.
Yeah,
that'd be so West Ham to take a loss on the player, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if they accept 15 million, it's like stupidity, isn't it? Really, let's be honest.
Given what he was worth.
Yeah, like he paid 38 million. Jay Woods, yeah. I'm not even going to pronounce the surname, but I think you know he's. Yeah. Yeah, the man from is it Besiktas? Is it?
Yeah.
We've also been linked with the lad from Celtic, Edward.
Yeah, I take him every day of the week.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, like tell me about him then, because I've not really seen much of Celtic to sort of assess him. What sort of player is he like? Like what type of player is he?
Goal scorer. He's a reliable goal scorer.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hype him up, but you know, sort of the way Henry was very elegant, like a very elegant sort of. He was tall but strong and fast. He likes to instead of like he doesn't always sort of run in behind. He likes to actually collect the ball at feet and sort of dribble with it, play football. Yeah, he likes to do stuff instead of just being a one-dimensional striker. He's very nice to watch, and he scores goals. I've liked him as long as he has at Celtic.
Yeah. What about you, James? On Edward? I can't remember.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Ulsan Edward. I think that's probably
Edward,
Ulsan Edward.
Yeah.
Ulsan Edward. He's a player that's he's good in front of goal. He can run. He's quite skillful.
He's tall. He's strong. He's fast.
Yeah, he ticks the boxes.
I got one here for Scott. Now, obviously, we see in the paper and we see in the media about Tammy Abraham being linked with us for £40 million, which I nearly fell off my chair when I see that.
Me too.
What is the most you would pay for him?
25 mil. Honestly, like 25 mil.
Careful.
30 to 32-ish, sort of that region.
If for instance, you had a choice between Ivan Toney or what's his name? Abraham, who do you have?
Abraham.
Tammy.
I don't understand that one. I just think Tony's I'm a really big Ivan Toney fan.
The reason
Tony
why I
hasn't
say
proven it.
Abraham. Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I'd say Abraham is because he's actually
Tammy's still
goals.
Chelsea's highest. He's their highest scorer this season, and he didn't play for like 3 months straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also helps when you got
really having a future in the team in Chelsea.
It does help
I
when
have
you
it here.
got
I just
X
read
amount
it
of
out.
players, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Well, it's just here 1 second there. All falls. Here it is. So in 2016-17, he was with Bristol. He scored 26 goals that season. Then he was at Villa the season after, scored 26 goals that season. Then last year he's with Chelsea, scored 18 goals. He was their top scorer. And so far he scored 12 this year for Chelsea. He's their top scorer. So he is proving it at all levels. Like 26 goals in the Championship isn't far off what Tony has now. And he's also proven it in the Premier League, and he's younger. I think he's worth it.
Yeah.
Also, I like Tony a lot, but he's a bit one-dimensional. He's not as good of a footballer at times. He's a very good striker, if you know what I mean. He's a great goal scorer, but he's not as he's not as involved.
Yeah, but Epic hash time here just says about the Celtic striker. He's not a proper target man. His stats are bad when he plays up. When he has to play alone.
Yeah, but we don't play up top alone. It's kind of like them lads just all revolve around each other, and you can run around. It's all like a 3 forward line at times.
Yeah. Is there anyone else who we haven't mentioned who you would like to see? Like, there's a player at Barnsley who come over from America, Daryl Dyke. Yeah, I think he's only 20. He's been scoring goals.
He's a big, strong lad as well.
He's not been at Barnsley even that long.
No, I think he's only been there since January. And he scored something like 11 goals or 9 goals or something. He's done like a Lingard, basically. He arrived from...
I think he has 12 goals.
12 goals,
where he played.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I just think to myself, he's turned up there, he scored X amount of goals. I know it's a big step from you're playing at MLS, then you're going to the Championship, and then you got to go from the Championship to the Prem. But for a 20-year-old, that's huge potential there, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And finally, Seema. Will he be in a claret and blue shirt next year?
I don't think we've the money to get this year. Maybe because he's not what we need right now. I suppose he's. I think he's a great footballer to watch, but he's not a striker. He's a winger, and he's very green as well. He's very, he's rough and ready out there. But I do like him because he has that sort of charm to him. And he gets goals, and he has a bit of an Antonio-ness to him. He's a bit scrappy.
I agree, mate. I do. I really do. Well, we will find out, gents. We will find out. I'm going to wrap it up now. That's come to the hour. And moving from the youth to the potential players in the summer to the game on Monday night, which seems like miles away at the minute. But yeah, let's hope for a positive result. It's gonna be gritty. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be physical, and we've just got to make sure that we turn up. And
Exactly.
But Scott's just chucked this in before I'm gonna wrap it up. I've got to ask this one because I don't see the hype of this geezer at all. I think he's a good, he's half decent, but the money that they want to ask. Yeah, what do you think, James?
I don't. Well, I've spent 40 million when we could get about 3 players for 10 million.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's yet again, it's another Haller part 2, isn't it? Like if he turns up, he don't do nothing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have it.
From what I've seen, he just obviously he has great stats and all, but every game I've seen, it hasn't been too impressive. Just not impressive in a way of saying he's bad, but in like a Moyes way. He's not. I couldn't see him fitting in a Moyes system. Around 45 mil, I think.
Yeah, it's too much money. Like it's too much. Like it's miles too much money. If you're
because he's worth that to them. It's the same as like people wanting Rice. Rice is worth 100 and whatever million to us. He might not be worth that in skill wise, but he is worth that to us. And Nesri's probably worth that to them.
Right. So if West Ham put in a bid for 35, do you think would you be happy with that?
No, I'd rather Tammy for that sort of money.
Yeah, I'd rather Tammy for 25.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just think there's better options there who's got more experience in the league. Do you know what I mean? So for me, no, it's no for me. But I want to thank James for coming on today, all the way from cold, wet Canada. I want to thank Cathal, all the way from the beautiful Isle of Sunny Ireland. Is it raining? Is it raining in Ireland? Is it?
It's no. It's overcast. It hasn't rained yet, but it will.
Right,
I know.
So the rain's holding off for about another 20 minutes, and it'll be hammering it down.
Slippy rugby training.
Yeah, and as I say, lads, I just hope it's a positive result Monday because it'll be a good night from the Champions League, and then this little slump that we're on ends up being a crisis, in my opinion. It'll be 3 out of 3 defeats. And before then, we hadn't done back-to-back defeats all season in the Prem.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it could go the wrong way, bad. So, yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching. Subscribe if you're new, like, share, retweet the stuff that I put on Twitter. Goes a long way. I'll be back again Saturday morning with do a prediction show. I will also probably do something on late Monday night after the game, so it might be about 11 o'clock, half 11, something like that. Just to have a little reaction onto the game. But thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. All the best. Stay safe, and let's hope for a good win Monday. Take care.
Yes. Take care.